wątek o tym, że wszyscy mamy przerąbane. Człowiek XXI wieku spokojnie zaznaje, przez co to proste, przez olbrzymi techniczny postęp musi zajmować się.
The story I'm about to tell you is necessarily incomplete. My intention is simply to offer a perspective, a sample of my recollections, some of which have a comic book feel to them. A few weeks ago, I was in Poland for the first time. Given the country's role in helping out Ukraine, I wanted to check things out and show up as an independent volunteer. I went with no expectations, only a beginner's mind and an explorer's heart. All in all, it was an experience of contrasts. Used to my quieter life in the south of Spain, suddenly I was in the middle of everything, out there in the world, seeing human solidarity in action, but also human despair. The tragedy was real. So was the help. It was heartwarming to meet people who had come from all over the world as they felt moved to lend a hand.
Bravo! Yay!
At Warsaw's central station, there were several stalls set up in the main hall for directions in transport, SIM cards, and finding accommodation. Upstairs, there was also a room just for mothers and their children where they could change nappies and hang out. Then there were the tents outside, one for warm food and drinks, another one for toiletries, and a third one for clothes and travel items. I was in Warsaw for a few days. I then decided to go to the border via Krakow. On the way there, as the train cut through the blizzard outside, forests and fields looked like a Christmas postcard.
আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডেবল মানে এত সুন্দর স্কোয়ার রয়েছে এখানে যদি ক্রিসমাস মার্কেট না কথা তাহলে তো খুশি।
On arrival at Krakow station, I met an amazing volunteer coordinator who smiled and proceeded with an instruction. There's still space in the car, so do you want to come with us to the border tomorrow morning? We can't promise to bring you back. Yes? Then be here at 10 a.m. Don't be late. I was elated. The next morning, 4 of us drove to Przemysl, chatting and bonding on the way, and even singing along to pop songs or to Bella Ciao, which quickly became our anthem.
Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao.
As I noticed all the humanitarian aid vehicles on the road, I felt the adrenaline slowly but surely kicking in. We were getting closer. We went to the beautiful local train station. As we walked through the door, I took in the atmosphere. I must say I was a little speechless. I could sense a deep sadness in the air in a way that I hadn't in Warsaw or Krakow, as well as a different kind of agitation, like being in the vicinity of war. The place was busy. Ukrainian families waiting around, journalists reporting back to their news stations. Military staff and police patrolling the space, the Red Cross and other organizations doing their bit, volunteers, government support. After that, we went to Tesco, a former supermarket and shopping mall setup.
Prawie 1500 tirów stoi w kolejce w Bobrownikach przed przejściem granicznym z Białorusią. Kolejka ciężarówek ciągnie się przez 37 kilometrów.
A z nami w faktach Magdalena Greinert.
Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry, Magdo. Ile trzeba czekać na rozpoczęcie odprawy?
83 godziny, czyli prawie 3,5 doby. To jeszcze...
The World Central Kitchen tent, pitched outside, was just an amazing resource. What used to be a warehouse was now a giant sleeping room, as were the spaces where shops would have been. Volunteers from various countries helped out. There was also a big cafeteria, a makeshift health centre, even an improvised hairdressers. Later on, we went to Medyka, right on the border with Ukraine. It was quite a scene. To the right, cars queued up to go to Ukraine. Many of those drivers likely lived elsewhere and were now coming back to fight for their country. To the left, a supermarket and lots of tents all the way up to passport control.
Hello, nice to meet you, Magdalena. Hello. We bring from Krakow some beds for children,
We dropped off some large bags with gifts for children. We got to chat to several aid workers about the situation, where they were from, what it had been like for them, what their plans were, and so on.
Here is the border. Can you start here? See? And there, you can see these buildings. It's the border from European Union.
That building over there.
Yes. Poland and European.
People from different international NGOs served hot food and drinks, exchanged information, and got ready for the new wave of refugees. Everyone seemed oblivious to the harshness of the weather.
Yeah, usually we have an office there.
What do you do for guys?
The next morning was a sight to behold. It had snowed during the night, and a white blanket covered the town. We went to a setup like Tesco's at another border point, Krakow, where I saw military tanks as well as a long line of trucks waiting to cross over. Back at Tesco's, I decided to stay there. I said goodbye to my friends, who remain in my heart forever, as do pretty much all whom I have met on this trip. I spent the rest of my time connecting people, playing football with kids, though I'm not much of a football person, giving out biscuits, sweeping floors, and helping out other volunteers with directions and logistics.
She is asking where they will live, how will be the life over there.
We can offer for them right now the accommodation, food care. If she will get the peso, she will have free health care, and we can give her some money for government, but the process will take time.
Через декілька днів у вас буде нові документи із Польщі, і так само у вас буде гроші. Держава буде вас платити гроші. Так, для біженців. Так, ви готові?
I slept in the volunteer room. I didn't actually sleep though, nor did I expect to, but I rested my body. It was a busy night, with more arrivals, children crying, military staff walking up and down. I was touched by how appreciative Ukrainians were, getting on with their lives with such resolve despite their plight. I wanted to bear witness. I wanted to nurture. Sometimes there's very little you can say, and just your presence is enough. It's the gift of not looking away. So I could only hope that my being there mattered in some way.
Сало ешь, любишь мало, да? А ой, тебе украинские коты играют.
Сало, борщ.
I am back home these days. It's taken me a while to readjust. To say I've got itchy feet is an understatement. When am I going back? I keep asking myself. I am lucky that I live by the beach, where life carries on as normal in this lovely spring weather. Except there's nothing normal about how I feel on the inside.